ADL publishes new guide to anti-Semitic tropes. Organization calls on public leaders to avoid anti-Semitic rhetoric during 2020 election. Shares resource with candidates. New York, NY, March 12, 2020. Beginning this week, ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, will share a new comprehensive guide to contemporary anti-Semitism with candidates running for national office in 2020, as well as every member of Congress. Anti-Semitism Uncovered, a guide to old myths in a new era, identifies some of the most stubborn tropes about Jews, explains why they are dangerous, provides the backstory behind the myths, and shows how they have evolved into the present day. As violence against Jews is already at historic levels, we call on all public leaders, particularly during this heated political season, to avoid invoking anti-Semitic tropes, said Jonathan A. Greenblatt, ADL CEO. The tropes this guide explains are the roots of anti-Semitism and have led to violence against Jewish communities around the world over centuries. Today, they are still modern drivers of anti-Semitic violence, finding voice in the tweets and public statements of elected officials, or resonating with the extremists who carried out violent attacks against Jews in Pittsburgh, Poway, and Jersey City. Anti-Semitism Uncovered is a carefully researched, authoritative, peer-reviewed resource that provides a concise history of anti-Semitism through the ages and definitions of 7 of the most common anti-Semitic tropes that have had remarkable staying power through the centuries: myths about power, loyalty, greed, deicide, the blood libel, Holocaust denialism, and the newest form of anti-Semitism, Anti-Zionism, and the delegitimization of Israel. The guide explains the history of anti-Semitism and the myths that have helped it to endure for centuries. The first chapter provides a brief summary of anti-Semitism on a global level. The next chapter details anti-Semitism in America. Each of the following 7 chapters tackles one of the tropes. Jews have too much power. Jews are disloyal. Jews are greedy. Jews killed Jesus. Jews use Christian blood for religious rituals. The Holocaust didn't happen. Anti-Zionism, or delegitimization of Israel. Each trope is explained using a modular format, with a discussion of each myth using descriptions of its historic origin, followed by contemporary examples, and closing with an explanation of the faulty logic behind the anti-Semitic myths. By debunking myths and offering context for the most stubborn anti-Semitic tropes, we hope this guide will educate people, particularly those who influence the public debate, about what is and what is not anti-Semitism, and why. Greenblatt said, this will help prevent the greater normalization of anti-Semitism and prevent extremists from seeing a green light to act on such hatred. Disturbingly enough, in just past the few weeks, our team at the Center on Extremism has documented an increase in chatter among some extremists in the far fringes of the internet that Jews somehow are responsible for creating and spreading the novel coronavirus, said Greenblatt. It is a baseless accusation, but one with historical resonance. It echoes the medieval trope that Jews were responsible for spreading the bubonic plague in Europe. Among those experts contributing editorial content or guidance in the development of Anti-Semitism Uncovered are Andrew Mark Bennett, doctoral candidate in law, Freie Universität Berlin; Golan Moskowitz, Ray D. Wolf, postdoctoral fellow at the Anti-Semitism Center for Jewish Studies, University of Toronto; Alvin H. Rosenfeld, director of the Institute for the Study of Contemporary Anti-Semitism, Indiana University; Jonathan D. Sarna, university professor; and Joseph H. and Amp Bell R. Braun, professor of American Jewish History and director, Shusterman Center for Israel Studies at Brandeis University; Magda Tedder, professor of history and the S. H. Vidler Chair in Judaic Studies at Fordham University, and the team at Bechal Lashon / Global Jews. ADL gratefully acknowledges the ADL Louis Family Institute for Combating Anti-Semitism for its sustained support of this project and commitment to fighting anti-Semitism. The full guide is available online at https://antisemitism.org/ and also will be available in hardcover format.